All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and good afternoon, I should say. And thank you for attending our back to school town hall. Sorry it's a little dark in here. We're trying to keep it kind of cooler. But I'd like to begin by introducing the command team, Mr. Mitchell Jones, our Deputy Garrison Commander, Command Sergeant Major Eve Pamphel, and they're also joined at the table by Mr. Joseph Lovett, the Community Superintendent for DoDEA Europe Central. Gentlemen, do you have any opening remarks?
Can you guys hear me? I guess you can. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I know it's extremely hot here in Wiesbaden, but we appreciate everyone coming. And on another note, Colonel Danielson could not make it today, so we're doing a huge Garrison Leaders Working Group right here in Wiesbaden. Command Sergeant Major and I were there as well. And right now, Colonel Danielson is going through a very high-level security brief. So he wanted me to apologize to everyone that's here, but the show will continue to go on. Anything from you guys?
Hi, my name is Joseph Lovett. I'm the Community Superintendent for DoDEA East and oversee the Wiesbaden area schools. Just a little bit about me. I came to Darmstadt Elementary School as a teacher in 1983 and have worked for DoDEA for about 40 years. I did have 3 children graduate from H.H. Arnold High School in 1998, 2000, and 2002. So I am a lifetime member of the Wiesbaden High School Booster Club and a recovering chain gang guy for the football games and a recovering official scorer for basketball games. So I'm very invested in the Wiesbaden area, so thank you.
Sergeant Major, any words? All right, then I'd like to start us off by introducing Chris Dickson, our school liaison officer.
Thank you, Audra, and good to see you, Wiesbaden community, and thank you, Sir Community Superintendent, for coming down. I didn't realize you're part of the Wiesbaden family now, so you have to, maybe you can still volunteer and do some coaching or something. We can get you to do that. We want to welcome everyone back to a new school year. Yes, summer's over. You have to get off the beach. It's already started. We kicked things off with, guess the slides are right here, with back to school fair. Who went to the back to school fair? Did you come out there? I saw a lot of people. We had to move it inside, but we had 700 people out there running around. Students, parents, teachers, and if you look at that graph right there, we really want kids to be successful in their future, and we try to connect them to their command, their base, connect them to their school, to their community, and ultimately to their future. And that's how many private orgs, directorates, organizations, support groups were either out there or somehow supporting the back to school fair. And what a great kickoff to see everyone involved. And so please, parents, know that we are here to support you. We're here to provide a net. Anything you need, we can try to at least address or help out with. Back in the Vietnam era, the U.S. Armed Forces, 17% were parents. 17% had kids. Now, the U.S. Armed Forces today, 49% are moms and dads. 49% have military kids. And so think about how many are trying to do their mission, whether it's to shoot a gun or on a keyboard or whatever it is. They're thinking about their kid, how they do on their math exam. Did they score a goal, etc. And they're a little bit distracted. And so all these programs, the SLO, CYS, DoDEA, we all want to try to provide support to alleviate those concerns and distractions so that we can better focus on our mission. So that's why we're here. Just a couple reminders. Next slide. We had the back to school fair. That was great. We had some orientations, new student orientations for new inbound families coming here, which, by the way, we have a lot. I don't know if y'all know, but we're at capacity here. It's the largest enrollment in 10 years and the 3rd largest total school enrollment at DoDEA, the 3rd largest since we've had schools here. You're talking about the old name of the high school when Priscilla Presley went there and stuff like that. So we have a lot of bodies, a lot of moving parts, and so we've had orientations for new students, but also for transitioning students going from middle school to high school. That's a big deal. Going from elementary school, my twin boys, Bruno and Leo, just moved up to middle school. I can't believe it. It's crazy to think about that. And so we all want to have nice orientations. And then also I want to remind you about open houses. So once school gets started, it's nice to kind of go to the class, meet the teacher, see where their book bags and lockers and things like that are. So please take advantage of the open houses going on. And then parent-teacher conferences. So that's where you really get to sit down with the teacher and see how your kid's starting and doing and that kind of thing, and you can really share and work together as a team, kind of collaborate for the success of your students. So there's some dates on there. You can find those online. Also want to mention to you about the school meal program. So AFES does our school meal program. School lunch, yes, but also school breakfast. And The school meal program also has a free and reduced meal program where you can apply, and we really want to encourage you to apply because there's money out there. You might think, oh, no, I don't qualify. Well, if you have a lot of kids, like I have 3 kids, you might qualify, maybe not for free, but maybe reduced. Do you want to share real quick, just a little bit?
Basically,
This is our school meal program coordinator.
hi, Anne-Marie Johnson, School Meal Program Coordinator. Basically, the free and reduced meal program is based on family size and your base income. That's it. So the bigger your family, you can actually make more. And also, it's on Alaska rates. So we actually can make more and still qualify.
So after the town hall, if you want to talk to her, she can show you that thing. But for an example is $3.50 for a school lunch. If you get the reduced, it's 40 cents. And I tell you what, if you have 3 kids and you eat lunch every day, that adds up. So you might want to at least apply and do that. We also have our school embedded military and family life counselors. We have 2 of them right back there. We have 5 school MFLACs. We call them MFLACs, like AFLAC, etc. And we have 2 in our largest school, Wiesbaden Elementary School. So please go back there and learn about the MFLACs. They are counselors. They're non-medical but professional licensed counselors. And they're here to support kids. And it can be anything from test-taking strategies that kids get nervous about or bullying and stuff like that to more serious stuff, right, for counseling. And also work with parents and teachers. So please stop by and see our MFLACs. We love you guys. Thank you all for supporting our community. So that's all we have. And now,
Next slide, please. And I think the Sergeant Major is now going to discuss some potential school delays.
Yeah, good afternoon. Last year we have a couple innovation of the weather from the heat to the ice and snow. So this year we work with DoDEA, with Chris. We were able to come up with a SOP on how to integrate better to respond to the inclement weather. So from right now on the slide is not listed is the partner units or partner nations. We will say from AFIS, from CYS, from the tenant units. So all of us at our level within the garrison, we will communicate with those tenant units and then give them the heads up on decision we're gonna make. But the main planning will be between the garrison, which include the garrison command team, CYS, the FMWR, and DoDEA. Especially the superintendent will be part of that decision. But the main purpose of doing the SOP from last year to this year is to give you, everyone within the community, ample time to react to early release or cancellation of school. So we'll continue to make adjustment to the SOP and to the response, but we need the whole community. We will try to push messages and everything else to the leadership and to also use Facebook, which is one of our main platforms also to post with PAO. So that's mostly it on the inclement weather.
Great, now Marco Walter with our safety office is going to discuss some back to school safety.
Command Sergeant Major, is it safe?
Yes.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Wiesbaden community. I'm Marco Walter, and I'm with the installation safety team. And by saying that, I'm charged by the garrison commander to help ensure the community is safe, both a safe place in which to live, work, and to play. Today, my intent basically is to give you a question to always ask yourself, and also to leave you with something to always remember. And as the light bulb on the slide shows, or on the beginning slide shows, is basically a trigger thought. And finally, my goal is to get you to start having conversation, not just with your kids, but with your family members and friends. So in saying that, so school is back in session. So now we're at second week, I believe. School started on the 19th, so we're 2 weeks into this. I know a lot of you out there probably happy the kids are off to school, out of your hair, and back to school. But saying that, we want to talk the ABCs of back to school safety. And saying with the ABCs of back to school safety, a lot of this stuff is actually common sense. So when I said about triggering thought, it's just basically having that conversation with your kids. If you got your kids who are actually walking to school, whether or not they walking to school, or riding a bicycle to school, taking a bus, or you actually carrying them to school. Some of you out there may have, some of your kids may be the first time drivers and actually driving themselves to school. So some of the things that we want to remember and keep in mind is that if you've got kids that are actually walking to school, okay? If there's a sidewalk available, teach them, parents, use the sidewalk. If there's not a sidewalk available, then you want to actually have your kids to teach them actually to walk in the direction of traffic, okay? And before crossing the street, as we all learned when we were growing up, you want to look left, look right, look left again, and ask yourself the question, is it safe before you cross the road? Bicycle, riding a bicycle. Bicycles are considered to be vehicles. So riding a bicycle is a little bit different from walking. So if you got kids who are actually riding their bicycles to school, you want to teach them to actually ride their bicycles in the direction of traffic and in a single file. Next slide. So if you have kids that are actually riding the bus, okay, so some of you may live out in the German communities, a lot of you probably maybe live on post, but anyway, in saying that, riding the bus, teach your kids to stay at least 6 feet away from the curve of the road. And 6 feet for the smaller kids, let's just say, taking the kid Lincolns, take 3 giant steps back from the curve of the road. Okay, and to always make sure that before crossing the road, to make sure that if there's any oncoming traffic, to make sure before you cross that road, get that eye contact with that driver. That driver may be busy, texting, got a lot of stuff that's going on, got deadlines, suspensions to meet, but make sure that they maintain eye contact. Don't cross the road unless you get that eye contact. Driving to school. So driving to school, we want to make sure that we observe our speed zones within the school, our speed limits within the school zones. Also, make sure that you're watching, if you're driving to school or you have kids that are actually driving to school, to make sure that they're watching for kids that are actually around, because you got a lot of kids that actually, they're playing, they're back in school with their friends, and so a lot of horse playing is going on, but to make sure that they actually have contact with that driver actually sees them, and make sure that if you're driving that you're watching out, especially during these times when school is starting and when school is letting out. So I also have something for the parents. So next slide. So you want to make sure, be safe, be smart, and I said I want you to leave you with something to always remember. Always remember, never, ever give safety a day off. Never give safety a day off. So parents, as I said, watch out for school zones. Say that phone call that you're about to make for later. Or if it's that important, pull off to the side of the road. There's more accidents that happen because of people are distracted driving, talking on the cell phone, texting, than anything else. POV accidents is our number one accident across not just the Army, but nationwide, international-wide. POVs are number one accident. Also, if you can, think about carpooling. Carpooling. Talk to your neighbors, carpool. By carpooling, you're putting less traffic, less cars on the road, and just making it a safer environment for us all. Then last but not least, like I said, I wanted to leave you with something to remember. And as I said, remember, never give safety a day off. And always ask yourself the question, is it safe?
Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Drill Burton. He's our CYS coordinator.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jarrell Burton. As Audra said, I'm the CYS coordinator here at USAG Wiesbaden. And what you guys see on the screen is the Army in Europe Regulation 608-18-1 Child Supervision Guidelines. And what this guideline does, it informs patrons and parents, is what is the eligibility for your child to be left home unattended, left to be able to ride the school buses unattended, whether it's or babysit. And it's an important regulation for you guys just to know, especially being new to Europe. For me, I was really surprised as a new coordinator when they told me that children can walk to and from practices, right? And so for me being a new coordinator, these are different than the rules and regulations in CONUS. So I really implore you guys just to make sure you read up on the regulations for your children and being attended or unattended in our community. Next slide. So with school starting, also starts recreational after-school activities. Here at USAG Wiesbaden, our youth sports program has a robust program of different activities, but those activities can't happen without having volunteer coaches. Those in our community providing their time and their little bit of their resources to our children. So we want to make sure we put this out to the back to school to let parents know that there's opportunities, and if you would like to know more about that, to contact our youth sports office and they can get you the application in the packet. Just know that background checks don't happen overnight. And so if you're thinking about maybe doing basketball in the winter, go ahead and start now going into our office, picking up that packet, because it requires some documentation and getting your fingerprints. And so again, please, 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 if you have that time, please look at volunteering. You also get a credit if your child participates. And so there's definitely benefits to volunteering in our sports program. Next slide. What you see here is our open closure dates for the rest of FY24 and going into 25. Obviously, training is extremely important for CYS. Many requirements, whether it is for childcare or installation purposes. And so we take this time to be able to do that. And so these dates are provided for you. We'll also share it in emails to our community members, our patrons, 90 days out, 60 days out. So you guys are just informed that we will be closed that day. We also have an opportunity for Parents Night Out. The next one will be in November. So look for more information on that and registering. If you are interested, again, you can go to our Parent Central Service office on Clay, and you can register your children and ask more about those opportunities. And as you see, it's TBD for 25, so there'll be more information coming soon on the next Parent Night Out. Next slide. And then lastly, as we're talking about our sports program, we also have a SKIES program that offers a robust set of programs, whether it's dance, martial arts, performing arts. And so we really just want to make sure our community knows the after-school activities for your children to enroll in outside of just academics. We offer CYS.
Good afternoon. My name is Helen Fatulajo. I'm the volunteer program manager, but I also manage the Army Family Action Plan program. As you can see, the slide is stating that we are actually going to have the conference even though it's for FY really 25, we are going to have it from the 10th to the 12th of September over here at the Wiesbaden Entertainment Center. We have received a total of 71 issues this year, and we are going to have 2 different groups, the working groups, that are going to work through all those issues and prioritize the top 3 from each group. We are looking for spouses to be part of the delegates. We've conducted 2 different trainings for everybody to understand their roles for what's expected of them during the conference. Really, as you all know, the delegates are the ones who get to voice out their opinions. I would like to talk about some of the successful stories that have come out of here, just so you know that your voices are being heard, or you are speaking on behalf of the Army Family. The lodge being built here, this was submitted as an Army Family Action Plan. Before, it never used to be here. It used to be, if you know where St. Joseph's Hospital is, out there, and the PX used to be back down there where the gas station is out there. So when you're new here, you would have to walk all the way from further past the St. Joseph's Hospital, coming up to the PX. So somebody submitted that as an issue, and it's being worked. Did you know that also another active issue that's out here is if a single soldier or dual military, if they have a child here in Europe and they don't have up to 12 months left on their orders, did you know that that child cannot be command-sponsored? So your voices are being heard. That's also an active issue. That came out of Wiesbaden. Second POV being shipped is also an active issue. So your voices are being heard. And I would encourage you, the outbrief for this Army Family Action Plan, the conference that's taking place next month, the outbrief will take place on the 12th at 1500. And I would encourage each and every one of you to participate so that you could hear what the groups will work on and what our leadership will be able to resolve locally or what they will have to elevate to G9. Next slide, please. So you know that I mentioned the volunteer. We are always encouraging people to volunteer, even youth. This is one way that people are able to gain skills, different skills. We have about 195 registered organizations in the Volunteer Management Information System. This is a database where you can actually access all those positions, and you are able to see which organization is needing what kind of volunteer services. If you just want to gain a skill, again, you can always reach out to us at ACS. We'll be able to walk you through, but make sure when you're volunteering, you are registered in the system, your hours are logged. Each organization has what we call the organization point of contact. They are supposed to contact you within 5 business days after you apply for the position. If they don't, always reach out to us so that we can figure out who is actually the organization point of contact and how can we make sure you get the response that you need. So the Army Family Web Portal is where the Volunteer Management Information System is, and that's the website right here. Any questions for me? All right, thank you, Ms. Anessa.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anessa Izzard. I am your EFMP manager for the Garrison. That's Exceptional Family Member Program Manager. And what the Exceptional Family Member Program, I'm going to say EFMP because that's a mouthful. But what EFMP does is we're here to support you and your families if you have anyone in your family that has any special needs. Now, the EFMP program is split into 2 sections. There's an EFMP clinical, and then there's an EFMP support. I am your EFMP support, so I kind of say I get to do the fun stuff. I will help you if you have issues with your child's educational plans. If you just need some support because it's a lot of work involved caring for your child. If you want, we do fun activities for their child. In September 19th, I'm going to have a sensory play date where we're going to make all kinds of ooblack and slime. So I get to do the fun things. The clinical side is there to help you if you are new and you need to enroll in the EFMP program, or if you need to disenroll. So Ms. Stephanie Henry is my counterpart at the clinic. Her information is listed up there. I am located here on Hainerberg, and my information is listed there. So if you have any questions, if you have any ideas, because we offer workshops to help support families. So if you have any ideas, anything you want to see happening to support you and your family, please give me a call, give me an email, stop by, and just let me know. Okay. Anyone have any questions? All right.
Good afternoon, I'm Chaplain Alec. I'm the USAG Wiesbaden RSO chaplain, Garrison chaplain, acting Garrison chaplain. Back to school means also back to church or back to chapel for many people. So we are thankful for if you are joining the chapel again after a summer break. But also if you want to register your children for religious education, so please contact your pastor or chaplain who is leading your faith group community or faith group service for opportunities to enroll in religious education programs. All the faith groups that we have on Wiesbaden offer some kind of religious education program. So please contact your pastor or faith group leader, and they will be able to direct you to opportunities for education. Also, we want to invite you to back school prayer on the 12th of September. It's going to be here at Hainerberg Chapel. It's going to be short prayer led by Chaplain Archibald from 12 to 12:30. So you are welcome to join us and pray for good, successful year. Blessings.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ronald Shiro. I'm the Director for Public Works. I'm going to go more towards the map so I can orient. 3D. So this is going to be the Clay Elementary School. I'm going to show you a few things first so you know where you are. This is the big CDC, 1502. This is Heerstrasse. That's the big pedestrian gate. And this is the existing Omen Road now that you go into the traffic circle. This area right here is going to be where we're going to fence in the 3 stairways. This area over here is where the sports complex is now. That's where the tennis court, basketball court, hockey, soccer rink is. So think of phase 1 as like a prep for the elementary school. And think of just a round date of summer of 25. That's how long we're going to do the prep work. It's going to start next month, but think of it, it's going to go out through the whole fiscal year of 25. And think of phase 2 as the actual construction. And things I want to point out, I'm going to focus more on phase 1, just because this is where we're all going to be involved in. And phase 2 will start after this past summer, and it's going to go into the summer of 28. A few things I want to put out. So phase 1, we're going to start with this construction fence. And you can see by these 2 areas, that's where it's going to hit. It's going to keep Omen Road open. So that road will not be affected. There will be some disruptions because there are going to be construction gates between these 2 areas where the contractor may have to go back and forth. They have to do some utility work. But we'll communicate that well in advance to PAO. Also think of that word. Don't think demolition, think deconstruction. Because we're not going to go and do a Las Vegas, we're going to blow up this whole building and be a big dust cloud. It's not going to be that way. We're going to do deconstruction. First, we're going to go into the building, take out all the hazardous materials, and dispose of it properly. Then we're going to go meticulously through the interior of the building, start deconstructing all those components. And then from the roof down, we're going to take apart that building. And think of us doing that 3 times with 3 stairwells. And it's probably going to start with a stairwell that's, I forgot to point out, this is the small CDC, 1501. That one is going to be the most impacted through phase 1, but I'll show you in the next slide in phase 2, then we're going to release it back. The other big part that we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a new Omen Road. It's going to be, the existing road is here, just imagine, and you'll see on the next slide, we're going to build a new connector road that goes through this site. So that's all part of the prep work. And then similar to Hainerberg, we're going to create what we call a bubble. So that bubble is going to be something that the Corps of Engineers will control. It'll be pretty much off post. It won't impact the ACP traffic because all the construction vehicles will go straight to their site. So similar to what we did at Hainerberg. And let me point out 2 examples of deconstruction. One, you probably already seen that we just completed in Crestview. We took down a few stairwells. We're doing the same thing. Took down a few stairwells, occupied housing area, and we kept it safe. So in Hainerberg, if you remember the elementary school, we actually took down the existing elementary school in the bubble while the new elementary school was occupied. So it's safe, it's a proven technique, and it's not the harsh demolition, it's more of a deconstruction. And that's why it takes a while. It's not a weekend job, so it can take over a few months. Next slide. So this is the road that's going to get created. This is the existing Omen Road. That's the existing south gate. We're going to build a new south gate and a new access road that goes back into the traffic circle. That will get released during phase 1, so they can start phase 2. And just imagine that. Now this becomes the Corps of Engineers bubble to build the school. In the end, that's the rendering of the school, and the school is mostly on top of the existing road and the sports court area, and then they have all the play areas on top of that. Let me talk about the hours a little bit. So this is the core hours, normal construction core hours, but we have what we call silent work. That's going to happen 30 minutes before and 90 minutes after those core hours, and those are everything that goes on with scheduling, cleaning up, things that are more of the quiet nature that shouldn't impact the areas around it. Any questions, concerns? Yes?
Once the school is open, will those play areas be open? Like, will it have a new sports court for the?
So that's a good question. We're still looking through that with DoDEA, if it's going to be open, kind of like how we kind of do with Hainerberg. But also during phase one, if you recall, there's a little tennis court between the dog park and 1502. We're looking at bringing that back during phase one. We're also looking at seeing, besides, there's a basketball court behind the Resiliency Center, 1201, but we're also looking at trying to put one closer to Newman Village. So we're looking at doing those kind of things, and then we'll negotiate with DoDEA as far as use of those play areas. But there's going to be a green area right here above the new connector road that should be available to the public.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. All right, we're going to open up to some questions from the community. We are recording this so that we can post this video online, so please use a microphone. My colleague Roland will bring it to you if you have a question. Someone in the back.
Hi. I just wanted to address something that was a really popular topic over the last several town halls, which is the passing of school buses, especially in Newman Village. It's been addressed a lot, and people have basically been asked to do the right thing. But on like the second or third day of school, someone was already pulled over for passing a bus. And then my additional concern is now that the Clay stairwell families are coming to Newman Village to utilize that bus stop. I'm concerned about the road crossing for those families, especially in the winter when it's dark in the mornings. So I'm hoping to follow up on the question about volunteer crossing guards, because it was previously discussed that the MPs are not available to provide those services, but I think it's pretty clear that they're still needed, especially with those stairwell people on Clay having to cross that road in the dark where the speed limit is 40 kilometers an hour.
So, ma'am, actually, that's a great follow-up question. I mean, we did address that last year. First and foremost, we appreciate you bringing up the crosswalk. That's something that I personally was not aware of. So, there are mitigation things that we can do, lighting, and that things of that nature. As far as people passing school buses, I mean, that's an educational thing for all of us. You've seen the MPs out there; they have been pulling people over, although they're not patrolling the roads. Or the crosswalks, I'm sorry. And there's a reason for that as well. I mean, they have a physical security and a law enforcement mission, and basically we don't have what we had in the past. But as a community, we can figure this out. So going to the volunteers, I don't remember the specificity of how we did it, so I know we have our FMWR director here, but I'm gonna take the first stab at it. So it's my understanding is that we would have to go through FMWR to set up some type of volunteer mechanism. Is that right, Greg? So we've set up a volunteer mechanism. Once that's established, people can sign up through that one volunteer to service those crosswalks. All of that being said, remember, anybody dealing with kids, they have to go through a background check. So that's the long pole in the tent. But I will say this, I mean, it's our community. I mean, the children in our community, they belong to all of us as well. So we just need to make sure that we're policing each other as well as adults. I know that's probably a wing type of answer, but we have to, do that as well.
I just wanted to follow up on us policing ourselves because I am not able to be present at the bus stop in the mornings or afternoons this year, but last year I was present every single day. And I witnessed multiple conflicts when parents would try and approach other parents who were passing buses. There were like screaming matches involved. Like it got pretty gnarly when parents who seemingly have no authority to tell other parents what to do try and tell them that they're doing something wrong. And so that's sort of why I'm following up on my prior suggestion of sanctioned volunteer crossing guards that maybe can have like a Garrison branded vest or something that gives them some sort of authority that hopefully will quell those like personal conflict issues.
It's something that we'll definitely take back. I still think that it comes down to the volunteering piece of it. I would hope that parents that are correcting other parents, it doesn't get that out of hand. But then again, we have our 911 too. I mean, so if folks should never feel threatened in the community. I mean, I'm hoping that's not the case, but it sounds like it is. We just have to do the right thing as adults. So if things get out of hand, if something gets out of hand, I'm gonna call the MPs for two reasons. Number one, that individual shouldn't be doing that, and number two, to make sure it's well documented, so it doesn't occur in the future. But as we continue to look at the volunteer mechanism, so if there are volunteers for the crosswalks, they will be issued vests and be identified that they can handle the kids and they're there for a specific reason.
The next question.
Sorry, just also a follow-up from the past town halls. We brought up the issues that there are no crosswalks on the backside of the elementary school into the housing area. That the explanation was that they were waiting for the roads to be resurfaced. And like Emily had just mentioned, that as we're going to quickly go into the darker mornings, that it's not a safe crossing area for kids. And if you're asking kids to find the safe ways to get to school walking-wise, there's no direct way from the housing area, or say you're being dropped off, that kids are crossing, also coming out of the kiss and drop for the middle school, elementary school area. There are kids crossing, but they don't have a crosswalk, so it's often causing an issue. Right now, we still have the privilege of the light in the morning, but very quickly it becomes an issue of safety. I drove my kids every day last year, and I would see it almost every morning. There was some sort of pause. Thankfully, nothing ever happened, but what is the timeline on those crosswalks being repainted?
So I'm so happy that DPW director is here. But before he answers that question, I will tell you that we did take a note of that one at the last time it was brought up, and that's being put in a phased approach of how we're taking care of all of our lighting, safety measures in conjunction with DPW and both safety. I just don't know the timeline off the top of my head, but I do know that that is of high importance to us as well. So thanks for bringing that back up, ma'am.
And sorry, one more thing to follow up. Also, the signage, there was a temporary sign put up initially if you're coming in directly into post, passing the PX on the right, and you're approaching the middle school, to make that turn to the left or the right. If you're going left to the kiss and drop, the signage there of priority roads, to help for people remember the light right before left. There was something temporarily put up, but it's not the correct sign, so there was maybe some jerry-rigging of the sign. It's not very clear, and that also often creates a little bit of issue because, again, lack of proper marked crosswalks, as well as people not being familiar with the correct, as they should, the way the road priority works. So is that also included in this timeline of getting the right signage up?
It is. So we're going through the entire installation to do a rebranding of our signage. We actually did a walkthrough after we met the last time. The DES, DPW, safety, and a few other folks went out and walked the entire footprint to make sure that we were identifying where signage needed to go, the right type of signage, to make sure that we were in compliance with the German law system as opposed to just the American system. Where that is now, I don't know where we are, but I think that the intent was to have everything done before the month of October as far as the safety, the high visibility safety areas. Rod, can you elaborate on that a little bit, or?
Yeah, I'm going to re-engage with O&M. I'm going to re-engage with O&M and DS because we were just finishing up the construction of the paving. They're still doing some touches on that, marking stalls and all that. And so I'll get re-engaged because it'll be our shops that will do the signage and the crosswalks. And then I'll do a personal site recon with them as well.
And we will post that information once we identify that accurate timeline. We won't wait for another town hall to put that information out. We'll put it out through our media platforms, Facebook, Garrison webpage, etc. Any other questions? tough crowd today. I know it's hot. So if there are no other questions, I'd like to say again, I thank everyone for coming out, and this is being recorded. So I'm pretty confident that there'll probably be more questions as we move down the road. But before I turn it over to the superintendent and the command sergeant major, I just want to reiterate that safety of the community is our #1 priority. That's our kids, our youth, our adults. I mean, we're here for the soldiers, first and foremost. I mean, we consider ourselves a combat multiplier, but more importantly, we're here to make sure that our community is safe. So we don't take these things lightly. I mean, it may seem like it's taking a long time to get things done, but we capitalize in the summer months for construction. You see a lot of construction going on, not just here in the Clay Concern, Hainerberg, Mainz-Castell. We capitalize on the warmer months to do those big bullet type things, and then we'll circle back and make sure that everything is lit and well safe before we go into the darker times of the year. So what we heard today, we heard AFAP. AFAP is big because it takes your voice and it makes our community better. We need volunteers though. So volunteers make up a lot of percentages of what we do here in our community. Volunteering can lead to other things. Number one, it's just the right thing to do for your community. It helps you with employment, and it's things that you can put in your portfolio even if you leave USAG Wiesbaden. So the other thing I want to hit on is what the command sergeant major talked about before, about the inclement weather. I just want to say that everything that we do is in collaboration with all of our tenant units. So in other words, before we recommend closure, I mean, the garrison commander makes the final decision, but before we do that, we just don't say we're going to close things. The second, third order effect of units, CDCs, DoDEA, so everything is in collaboration with them. So I just want everyone to know that. So before I pass it over to the superintendent, are there any questions? Nothing here, it must be hot. So for those that's out there, it's about 104 degrees here today in Wiesbaden. No, I think it's probably more like 92, but 92 degrees. So at this time, sir.
So I didn't have a question, but I just want to say thank you, command, for prioritizing this. I think this is the first back-to-school themed town hall. This is the hottest town hall I've ever been to, but thank you so much for our command, our leadership, guiding our kids and families so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. You summed it up. I agree with Chris. Great summary. Thank you, sir.
To conclude, thanks for let DoDEA go without any questions. So, guessing nothing for the school, on sports and everything else. Because when I attend those football game or soccer game, I want to get on the field. But thank you for take it easy on them. But really, thank you. We do have, as a community, have a lot of things, have a lot of priorities, and sometimes we can put our kids or the family aside. Thank you for giving this the level of priority, the level of safety we need to put on this to our kids while they go to school. It's not just being in the facility and go to school. There is a lot that is required from the community, from doing the right thing while driving, and so we don't have to step in. I will work with my senior leaders, the sergeant majors. The garrison commander actually give me one of the tasks is to re-energize and establish, which I get from Chris, the sponsorship of units by housing location. So that can also help with establishing the volunteer crossway and things like that. So we're working a lot of things, but you, just like us, you are our eyes and ears on things that is happening, and we will not just push them on the side. Wherever you bring to us, we will work them at the best of our capability. But thank you for attending the town hall.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Enjoy your weekend. And thanks for all of the staff, directorates, directors that reached today as well. I want to give you guys a round of applause for providing this as well.
Well, thank you again for coming, and have a nice day, everyone.